Hello everybody, Blue Dooley, and as you can see in the photo, the dump box is mostly mounted to the snowplow. In this video we are going over how I welded up a frame for it. I got the linear servo attached to that frame. Needs a little bit of tweaking. I need to do a little more trimming of the plastic on the dump box, and then the pin I have secured at the one end needs to be trimmed. But we're going to jump in, talk about the battery we're running, and then we'll get into welding that frame. Aim down here. And I am a big fan of Venom powered batteries. All of my rigs are running them now. This is a 4600 milliamp 50C 2-cell LiPo. It is a hard case, and it comes with an XT60. Yeah, XT60 as standard. But the nice thing about Venom is they have adapters that plug on to that XT60. So no matter what you're running, you can pretty much run their batteries and everything. Woo. Got one on the floor. We got the EC3, I think, connector. We have the T-style or Dean's connector, and then they actually have a Traxxas adapter, which is garbage because I don't run anything Traxxas. But it'll be nice that I have the Dean's connector so I can run this pack in a crawler or the monster truck or any of my other vehicles without any problems. The Hobbywing Fusion comes with the XT60 on it, so that's nice. They also have a couple of foams in case you need to, shift the battery one way or the other. But they are awesome batteries, and I love the heck out of them. Yeah, the blue one is the EC3, Dean's red and Traxxas black. But the nice thing about this pack is it fits between the stacks, as I mentioned. I'll reach across here. Because the stacks it's actually not going to stick out too much further than the stacks itself. But what I'll do is get in FreeCAD, and I'm going to design up a holder for it that's going to put it up above the frame a little bit and space it out of the cab just a hair. And I'm going to make the battery holder look like a hydraulic tank. And then that'll just tuck up in there out of the way. I won't fully encase the battery, that way it doesn't get too hot or anything. Of course, I'm at the wrong angle to do this, but then the battery will be able to just tuck underneath and plug into the Hobbywing Fusion, and that'll be good to go. Let's move you out of the way. I don't need that. Twist this sideways so we just don't have to move everything all the damn time. Because battery pack is kind of what determines how close we can get the dump box to the cab. That actually doesn't look too bad right where it's at. So I'm going to have to trim these the front part of the box here. I'm going to have to cut all this off. And then I'm going to make a frame that goes in here. And I think I'm just going to double stick tape this to the frame and then maybe put a countersunk 4 bolts in it just to hold it in place, as I don't see this thing getting beat up too bad, but I don't need it to be bulletproof, I guess. So then this will sit up here and connect. We'll connect a pin here to the actual metal frame, and then that way all of the force is on the metal and nothing's really pushing on that plastic. So that's the plan for that. Do need to smooth that out a little bit more, but I have the other side of the hinge. That'll sit just like in there. Now I need a piece of, I have a piece of angle iron sitting around here somewhere that I was going to make the frame out of. There it is. So this will just be cut and then welded like so. And this will be my frame. I could actually probably sink it down a little bit. So that'll actually work out pretty darn slick, I think. And this hinge is actually narrow enough. I don't think I need to trim. To sit this between the angle iron and the and clear this plastic. So might need a little bit of a shave, but let's cut this into length and then we'll figure out what's next. I'm not going to run the grinder and record it anymore because that was annoying and pain in the ass. So I'll be back. Alright, I'm going to have to trim the outside of the hinge just a little bit. And the length I measured covers pretty much the whole box. This back part actually has a slope to it, so that's okay. Again, this isn't going to get worked like a real hard truck, so I don't have any excavators or anything to load it with. So, but I think this is going to give it a good solid platform. So I need to do a little trimming, and we'll come right back to it. A little too much off my hinge there, but that's okay. I can get it centered and welded in there. So I know the front of my angle iron here is going to be even with the very front of my linear servo. I don't know if you can even see that. Barely. So, get the battery out of the way here. I'll need to clean that up just a little bit, but that is okay. So let me get this cleaned up, and we'll get these rails kind of situated on here where we need them to be, and figure out where I need to tack them so I can get it welded up. Now you might be asking me, if I weld this up, how am I going to get the pin in it? And I had thought of that. So I notched out the end. That way I can weld it where it needs to be and give myself plenty of room to get a pin in it. So now all I need to do is make sure the hinge is centered and welded up. And then I'll probably just put a little piece of flat stock up here. And for I'll need something at the front of the box, and then I'll need to put a brace in for the actuator to actually push off of. So we'll come back after we get a little more welding done. there we have it. I got the frame welded up. I drilled a hole here and here so I can run a pin straight through to get a hold of this. This pin does flex a little bit. Yes, I know. Transmitter's about dead. So we got it powered on so we can at least show you it working. We can stop it wherever we want. And it'll give plenty of dump angle, I think. Yeah. That's the Fly Sky I-10 channel radio I got beeping at me because it's about dead. But we'll throw the dump bed on it. And check that out. It looks awesome and it works smoother than I thought it was going to. Yes, I know. We'll turn this off before it beeps at us anymore and annoys the hell out of us. However, that's right, Fly Sky I-10, by golly, when it's getting low on charge, it lets you know it's low on charge. So I'll need to charge that up. And we don't got the battery situated in there just yet, so. Let's turn it around. Oop. Put it in the right way. And we'll bring you around. So there it tucks in there. I'm going to need to trim the dump box a little bit so it fits on that frame a little better. But it's going to hide in there nicely. You're not going to be able to really see it, especially with a little bit of a cover over it. There we go. It is starting to look like a dump truck again, at the very least. Looks like a dump truck getting an overhaul is what it looks like right now. I'll get the bed off here. Set that to the side. So here's what we got. Just a door hinge welded in, and then a pin. This is the same pin I'm using back here. I need to cut this flush. Well, not flush. I need to leave myself a little bit so I can secure it. As you can see, it does bow a little bit. I'm not sure how much flex it's going to have when there's weight up here on the front. But we'll address that when we get to it. It does tuck in there really nice. I do need to think I'm going to make a little stop and adjust the down end point a little bit once that receiver is charged, or transmitter is charged. So I'm not actually putting any weight on the linear servo itself, and I'm not pulling it too tight. But that's starting to look like a truck now. I'm super happy with the way that frame came out. It's nice and snug. It fits the box really good. We can pop those pins out, and I'll flip that dump bed over so you can see how it sits in there. So, yeah, that's actually what's scooting the box forward, is there's a little pin here. So I'll need to trim that out, and then I'll need to notch out my holes for the pin. I might try and thread that pin so I can put a little lock washer or a lock nut on each side, and I think that'll hold it securely. Then of course I still need to trim all of this plastic off so I can put it back together, because this doesn't fit those tires at all. That's alright. But they also have a little bit of a bigger plug here, because on the underside of the dump box there, I can actually run the wires up into here for my LEDs. Mount the LEDs out here away from the tailgate. And I think that is going to look really nice. The dump bed's going to need a coat of paint because I don't want it yellow. Who wants a yellow dump box on a custom truck? That'd just be silly. Let me know in the comments what color I should paint it. I'm kind of leaning towards, I have some aluminum. So it'll look like an unpolished aluminum box. Or of course black. Or I need to repaint the cab after I do a little work to it. So let me know in the comments. Should the dump box be aluminum, black, or should I paint the dump box and the cab the same color and really tile it all together? The frame, of course, will be black, and all the rims will be blacked out as well. So there's the update on the snowplow. It's starting to come together and actually function. So I need to get into FreeCAD, design my little battery box, and a few other miscellaneous parts. I need to fix my rims. I like how thick they are, and I think they're actually, even though they're going to be glue, I actually think the 3D printed rim in this application, because it's not going to see a lot of high speed, I think it's actually going to work out really well. So, hope you enjoyed. Please click subscribe so you can see more ridiculous content like this, and click like. It helps the channel. I know everybody says it, but it does. So we will catch you in the next video.